I'd like to welcome you all to the power of cellular resonance quantum healing. I'm so excited to have you all here, and thank you for showing up and being here and making it here in our Dallas traffic. As you know, I'm Dr. Doug Lehrer, and before I begin tonight on our main program, if it'll be all right to share a little bit about myself and my background and how I got to be doing quantum healing or energy medicine, as I use those exchangeably. And very simply, years ago, almost 40 years ago, I found myself in excruciating pain. I had 2 herniated discs in my low back. I don't know how many of you have had that level of pain before, but on a scale of 0 to 10, I felt like I was an 11, and I prayed to die, because after a year of going to chiropractors, acupuncture, doing meditation, Tai Chi, shamans, medical doctors, the whole gamut of healthcare, even psychologists and hypnotherapy, I still had the symptoms. Not only did I have those problems, but I also had irritable bowel, a separated shoulder. I had migraines every day, started at 3 o'clock, and I had ulcers and hypoglycemia, which I diagnosed myself, since this happened right after my graduating from chiropractic college. I got blood tests and they showed normal. Have any of you gone to a doctor, had blood tests, shows, oh, you're normal, but you know there's got to be something wrong. I mean, why do I feel so bad? Why am I passing out in my car at 3 in the afternoon driving down the freeway, which happened several times? Luckily, I woke up fast and everybody was okay. But I wanted to ask this deep question: what's happening to me? Why do I have these symptoms? Because I had all these diagnoses: herniated disc, fragmented disc, disc protruded on the spinal cord. I had sciatica and the rest of the symptoms I mentioned. But what was really causing them? That's the big question. When I didn't get the help and this pain was with me all the time, every movement, to the level of screaming, I just asked, God, please take me. And I prayed to go. And I was only 28 years old. After a few months, that prayer wasn't very effective, as you can see. I'm still standing here. I decided I would ask for something different. I'd ask for how I could truly, if who I'm going to and all the professionals, and understand in chiropractic, we have a lot of really cool techniques, and I knew all the technique teachers in Los Angeles. And so I went to them so I could get the very best. But it still, again, was temporary relief for me. And so as I asked how I could find my way to healing, very quickly I got divine messages on energy medicine. And I showed up in a seminar. I actually sneaked in with my cane, walking with my limp, just as the doctor, who was a pioneer, said, I need a volunteer. And I just walked up, laid on the table, didn't ask for permission. And he worked with me for about 10 or 15 minutes. And when I got off that table, I didn't need the cane to walk. I walked without a limp. The sciatic pain was gone. I still had some back pain, but it was a lot better. And I was just super impressed. I said, I'm going to be the best in the world at this. I just know it. I know I'm destined. It's what just resonated deeply with me. If you've ever had a message like that in your heart, where you just knew something was so, and even the message, the thought was bigger than yourself. You know what I'm talking about? And I knew it was beyond the ego mind of mine, but a deeper mind, a higher mind that was directing me in this process. And I learned that work, and instantly I started knowing how to improve it and how to change it and how to add other things that meshed from other masters of healing that I've had the honor of being able to work with, observe, see what they were doing early on in my career as a doctor of chiropractic. where I just didn't do chiropractic anymore. I just did energy medicine. And what I found is when I opened a pain clinic, and people would come to me with all different kinds of pain, from fibromyalgia to neuropathy, sciatica, migraines, and I'd be able to help them. Because we're going to talk about it in a moment, I would find and treat the cause, not the physical symptoms, but the actual cause. And as I did that, I noticed after a few months of care, something really cool happened to my patients. And what happened is, I'd ask them, there's something different about you. What is that? And they go, oh, I lost 30 pounds. Oh, how did you do that? Oh, the work that you're doing on me, I just lost the 30 pounds. Other people would, I had a man who was a Coast Guard, and he couldn't be on drugs, and his name was Overton. And because I practiced on the Sonoma coast, and he couldn't be on drugs, so he just had to grin and bear it on his job. And here he is with herniated discs and a boat that goes like this in the ocean. And he was just in immense pain. Well, very quickly over the first month or so, all his pain was gone. He was feeling great. He continued in care because I have people come so they can get super well, so that their body functions really well. And he told me, and he wrote me a beautiful letter. He said, you not only helped me heal my back, you helped me heal my marriage, my relationship with my kids. Something bigger is going on with what you do. So what I work with is a process I call true healing, my cellular resonance quantum healing work. And it's all about this. I'm going to start with the end in the beginning. The true path to all healing is a transformational journey of the whole person, body, mind, and soul. It's a transformational journey from fear to love, from the soul to the cell. You all know you're a body, and you're a mind, and you're a soul. Yes or yes? Absolutely. We must treat the whole person. This is the first key to healing. You must treat the whole person, all of who they are. If you just treat part, like the physical, then the mind and the soul energy, because we're energy beings having a physical human experience, the soul is the energy being part of you, then the symptoms are going to come back, or they're going to change into something else, often more serious than what you had before. Very important. We all know when we go to doctors and they treat the symptoms, do they get better, or do we still have the symptoms? We still have the symptoms, we still have the problem. We might be taking insulin for diabetes, but we still have the diabetes. So the problem's still there, getting worse every day. That wasn't good enough for me in my practice. I wanted to see people get better every day. I wanted to see them have their drugs not necessary because they healed. Otherwise, yeah, you need to follow the doctor and do what they tell you because they're just treating the symptoms. So when we treat the real problem, the source of the problem, the whole person, now we have an ability to get them truly well and healthy and have massive transformation happen in their lives, which is what I love to help people with. I've seen thousands of people with depression, anxiety. How many people have that in the United States? Too many. Well over 100 million admittedly, and everyone else with phases of anxiety and depression that aren't diagnosed. So it's an epidemic. Yet when we get to the true cause and nature of it, I've helped thousands of people heal those things. But very important to say is I don't treat symptoms. I don't treat, diagnose, cure, or heal anyone. What I do is I help that whole person integrate treating the cause, which is not the diagnosis, it's something deeper, and helping them to self-heal themselves. Because there's an innate power in every person to heal. When you cut yourself, what heals you? The methylate, the Band-Aid, the doctor, or does your body heal it? Your body heals that. There's an innate intelligence that knows how to heal you. But why doesn't it work? We're going to talk about that today. What interferes with that, and I'm going to use the word divine power, that we're given to heal. Because I believe and know in my heart we're created by something greater than ourselves. And it knows how to order everything in the universe. I might quote one of my favorite scientists, Albert Einstein, who said, everything is energy. Everything is energy. What quantum physics has discovered, thus quantum healing, quantum medicine, what quantum physics simply says is that at the very base of our material existence, our atoms, as we break them down into smaller and smaller parts, quantum means small. And when we get to the very smallest particle, there's nothing there. It's all energy. He further said that consciousness drives the energy. Whatever your consciousness, everything is consciousness. What we think, feel, believe, our consciousness determines how the energy coalesces, changes physical matter. Now we all know this with water. Water has 3 states, right? When a low temperature consciousness, we'll call the low temperature a low consciousness, it's frozen, solid in that form. As the consciousness or temperature goes up, it becomes water, fluid, movement. As the consciousness temperature goes even higher, turns into vapor, steam, right into the air. All those different forms. Our bodies are similar in that our consciousness drives how our body functions. And I'm going to show you how that works in just a moment on this board. I'm also going to say the last thing that I love that Albert Einstein said right before he died in 1955. He said, one day science and humanity will discover that the fabric of the universe, the all-binding force of all creation, is love. Is love. And so the power of healing truly is love. And we know that in our heart, don't we? All the great literature talks about they died of a broken heart. Betrayal. Hurt. Our human suffering. Yes or yes? Absolutely. So let's just go through a basic scientific model here and just write down that. Your body is controlled by what? By your brain. So brain controls body, and how does it control it? How does it tell the body what to do? It tells it what to do through energy messages. Energy messages. And those energy messages are pulsations, are pulses. So if you take your hands and clap them together about 5-6 times, everyone, and then rub, and then just either hold them out or put them on your knees, just like this. And I just want you to just feel for this creative pulse of the universe. It's in all living things. Now, feel the pulse now. Now. Even if you're listening to this as a recorded message, now, that pulse is now, everywhere, all the time. It's not your heartbeat, it's not your breathing, it's the energetic pulse of creation within you, around you, through you. And this is the energy, this pulse of creation, this love frequency that we use to help change the way that this brain, that I'm going to go deeper into this diagram, the way that your brain functions to help you heal your body and much, much more. So let's go back here again. Everyone felt it? The pulse? Fabulous. All right. So next is The brain has two functions. Two functions. One is relaxation, and the other one is called survival. Very simple. Survival or relaxation. Let's talk about survival mode for a moment. If a bear comes into this television studio right now, how are we going to respond to that bear? What's our heart rate going to do? Speed up, that's right. What about our blood pressure? Go up. What about our blood sugar? We need lots of sugar to run or fight the bear. So that increases too, blood sugar. Insulin increases. How about our muscles? What do those do? They get more tense, right? Because we need the muscles to be tense to run away. Or if we're foolish, fight the bear. Now, what about our eyes? What do? They focus on where the bear is. So if the bear's farther away, farther sighted, if the bear's really close, nearsighted, so our eyes change as well, our sightedness. What about your bowels and your bladder? What might they do when you see the bear? That's right, we might lose things. That's right. But if you go to a doctor with those symptoms, what are they going to say? You've got high blood pressure, maybe high cholesterol, diabetes, you've got anxiety, panic attack, and you leave with a bunch of pills and diagnoses and some diapers, right? For the loss of those other things the body does, right? Leakiness. So survival mode is the fear response. It's also known as the fight or flight response. Flight, or we'll just put fight or fright. So, survival mode. What happens if we stay in survival mode for more than 3 minutes? Normal would be in survival mode with a bear for 3 minutes. But what happens after that? We start to exhaust our cells. After 3 days, 3 months, 3 years, 30 years of producing stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline. We end up turning off our fat-burning hormones and our hormones that make us younger. Human growth hormone is a fat-burning hormone, but it also keeps us young and vibrant. But all that gets suppressed because and when we're stuck in survival mode. Relaxation mode is where we heal, where we digest our food, where we sleep. By the way, are you going to sleep when you're stuck in survival mode? You're not going to sleep too good because your body, your mind is looking with at least one eye open when you're trying to go to bed at night. Where's that bear? This is why so many people, they have a hard time getting to sleep, and when they do get to sleep, they only sleep maybe 2, 3, 4 hours at the most, then they wake up wide awake because their body wakes them up. Bear, tiger, bear, tiger. And that takes them a few hours to get back to sleep or toss and turn. So sleep, digestion, your immune system is part of this, your immune functions. And so that can help you fight off infections and all those type of things when this is all working. Over here, this is what we call an acid system. Acid systems degenerate the body. Acid systems get infections. Over here, this balance here ends up being an alkaline system. And if you understand about alkaline and acid pH, we want to be slightly alkaline. And this is normal, but we get acidic when we're stuck in survival mode. Now, what gets us stuck in survival mode? It's the thing that controls the brain. And that's our subconscious memory. And this is in the physiology books, that memory controls the brain and tells it what to do. But the memory stores everything that's ever happened to you. Every stress, every trauma, every emotion, thought that we have. And then from these stresses and traumas, we formulate beliefs. My friend Bruce Lipton, he wrote a book called The Biology of Belief, because beliefs, he proved in a scientific model that they change our body, our cells. It makes them mutate and calls it epigenetics. So we're working a great deal with the way that these thoughts and feelings and beliefs control and run our body. And this is the key. Published in the American Medical Association Journal and British Medical Journal and many others, they established that stress is the primary cause of all illness. In those magazines, I've seen the articles, 80 to 90% they claim is stress related. Stress created the condition. So why aren't doctors treating the stress? Because they haven't been taught to treat the cause. But just down here is all the symptoms. Where diagnosis, DX, I'll just write it out, diagnoses, and all these symptoms and conditions are. Like that. So we want to get out of treating symptoms and go up to cause. And so what I want to share with you tonight is do some audience participation and work with some people and get their body unstuck from survival mode and clear out the stress that's causing their physiological problems, but also their mental emotional distress, spiritual breakdown, our disconnection from our heart, from our soul, from the source that created us. Very simple. So that's, I call my brain-body stress model, and that's what we're going to do. Make sense to everyone? All right, perfect. So what I'd like to do is, there's so many different, most everyone has a condition. I'd like to just start with people who have pain in the audience so that we can work on pain, because when you have pain and then you don't have pain, it's very obvious. Yes? Right. If you have digestive problems, you might not notice it until you eat, let's say, right? So we want to do something that's very quantitative and qualitative at the same time. And so we're going to work on with some people in the audience. And I've not met anyone who's here before, so this is exciting. I get to be for the first time on stage. And your pain on a scale of 1 to 10 was how bad? Where? Okay.
The worst is my neck and shoulder and toe right now. If I'm walking, yeah, it's definitely like 6, 7.
All right. All right. Will you work with me then? Sure. Great. So come on up here and we'll work on you. All right. Beautiful. And you're Brittany?
Yeah.
Okay, Brittany. Yeah, go ahead and look at everybody here so they can kind of just see Brittany. And just notice, you can see she's in a lot of pain, can't you? Yeah. All right. Yeah, it shows. We'll see a difference when she gets up. At least we might pray for that, right? No, absolutely. So let's start to work on you and see what's going on. So go ahead and lie down on your back. All right. Great. Okay, scoot back a little bit more. Perfect. All right. So what we're going to do is, in fact, before I work on Brittany, I want to do another demonstration. Can you just stay there for a moment? All right, good. Can I have my strapping man student here? Sure. Come on up here. All right. All right. So stand right here and tell me your name.
Kurt.
Kurt. All right, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
All right, thank you for being a demonstration. I want you to just stay in this angle and put your arm out like this. Now, some of you may have seen muscle testing before. Yes? This is a little bit different, and we're going to test Kurt's mind. That's right. So hold this up, Kurt. And I want to see that he can hold it up. And he is strong. Nice and young, nice and strong. That can't budge that. All right. What I want you to do is say, my name is Kurt.
My name is Kurt.
And
No. Yeah. You want me to resist?
yeah, resist. Say, my name is Kurt.
My name is Kurt.
And hold it. Nice and strong. Now say, my name is Dr. Doug.
My name is Dr. Doug. Yeah.
Really hold it.
Okay.
My name is Dr.
My
Doug.
name is Dr. Doug.
And he goes weak. He goes weak with that because it's not true. I did this with my kids. I said, who did that? Get over here. And I said, raise your arm up. So my kids raised their arm up here. And I said, did you do that over there? And went down. Caught you. The next time I said, who did that? Get over here. They went, no, we're not going to stick our arm out because you're going to tell that we're lying. I said, yeah, well, I already knew you're lying by not coming and letting me test you. So we got that. So the next thing I want you to do is think about something really positive, something you enjoy, something you like to do, but don't think of sex.
Okay.
All right. All right. That one we don't think about. So got it?
Mm-hmm.
So think of the thing you really enjoy and like. And he is really strong. It stays that way. Now I want you to think about something that you don't like, maybe even hate.
Okay.
Got it? And hold this up.
Yeah.
And again, boom. And you can see his body reacts. That's a memory, a negative memory, and it made his arm weak. What's it doing to his heart, liver, digestion, brain? It's weakening those too. It's having an effect on those things too in the subconscious memory that we talked about on the board here. Excellent. Go ahead and think about a stress in your life in the past.
Okay.
And think of that. Goes weak very quickly. So that stress is controlling his body. You're in school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Think about school.
Okay.
I didn't even say what to think about. Just think about school and hold this up. Yeah. That's what college does to us, especially when we're going for a doctorate, right? Your doctorate degree. Thank you so much, Kurt.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, beautiful. So we're going to do this here with Brittany. Yes? But we're going to do it in a way where I'm going to read her body and see what it tells me. If you know how to talk to the body, communicate with the body, we must understand that besides treating the whole person, mind, body, soul, energy, we must work on the priority that the body is set up in. So we all have multiple conditions going on with us, multiple stresses. Which physical thing, mental, emotional thing is in priority? If we don't treat the priority, then we don't get to the deep results that we need. So we're going to see what priority she's in, and I'm going to test her arms. So hold this up for me and hold. Close your eyes. Good. Eyes open is conscious, brain, mind, and closed eyes is subconscious. Hold, close your eyes. Good. I'm going to check her energy system. It's external. As we have this energy field all around us, science has proven that. And I want to see if her body is in priority. Is her energy interference in priority? So far, it's a no and a no. Bring this leg up. Hold. Oh, keep your head down. Yeah, hold this up. Good. And then close your eyes and hold this one here. Hold your eyes open. Hold eyes closed. Hold. Good. So again, her body is strong. Eyes open, eyes closed. Yes. Good. So we need to do something different. Me communicating with her subconscious gave me nothing. There's an interference block. Her body was strong, so it's not showing a weakness, that a stress is in priority just lying here. We have to find it. And I want you to say these words. I recognize my body.
I recognize my body.
and hold this up. I recognize my body.
I recognize my body.
And hold here. I recognize my body. And here, I recognize my body. And everything goes weak. Now, for the doctors and practitioners in this room, how are you going to get someone well when they don't even recognize their body? It means their mind, body, soul, consciousness is separated. It's not communicating. And they don't recognize this body to fix it. Because remember, we talked about the body has an innate healing power within it to heal. So there's something interfering with that. And the first thing is she doesn't recognize her body. So even if we do adjustments or acupuncture or cupping or even drugs, whatever it is, the body is not recognizing itself. Therefore, how could it recognize the problem? This pain that's a 6 or 7 in her body. It's not going to. So again, say, I recognize my body.
I recognize my body.
Now, very importantly, there are several different types of stress. And this is what's very unique about cellular resonance quantum healing is it looks at the different kinds of stresses that are going on. And the body will reveal it to you if you know how to communicate with it, which is what I teach in my level 1 course, everything that I've done so far to find the key priority stress. Now, there's karmic stress that we bring into this life. There's epigenetic stress that we may have gotten from our mother, father, our family lineage, their thoughts, feelings, beliefs that got stuck in our system in the process of life, which happens very young, very early. Or our own stress as a child or a grown-up that goes into memory, which would be our own personalized trauma in this life. And you brought this in. You brought this issue into this life. So let's take a deep breath in and look up here. And I want you to think about the word right, the energy of right, and the number 7. And just think about what that means to you. Because in this life, there's this stress over and over again, the fear of not being right, or people doing things that aren't right, or you fearing doing the right thing. Whatever right means to you. Do you understand this in your life? This thing about right and wrong? Not feeling right? Yes, she acknowledged that. And go ahead and breathe. Lift your head up and down. I'm using this energy pulse to help get the body to let go of this memory. 5, take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. Think 5 right. 5 right. I recognize my body. 5 right. I recognize my body. 5 right. And you might notice that my hands are shaking, but I'm not shaking them. That's the energy, the soul energy interface between my energy and her energy system, or my soul and her soul, and head up and down. And that ultimately we're all interconnected as one soul. And then we individuate into individual souls. So we're working to help her reboot her system. Say, I recognize my body.
I recognize my body.
Good. Bring this up and bring this up. I recognize my body. And now she's strong. She's now recognizing her body so it can start to look at everything. Say, I recognize the pain in my back and body.
Back and body.
And she doesn't recognize the pain. So how are you going to correct the pain? That's why it just keeps going and going, because she doesn't really have the consciousness that connects and go, oh, there's pain there. Oh, that's not appropriate. We should let go of that pain. So think, I recognize the pain in my body.
I recognize the pain in my body.
7. 7, breath in. Eyes open and up. 7, right. It's more of this energy around right, right and wrong. See what comes to mind. Because as we're doing this, we're accessing the unconscious memory, unconscious mind, subconscious mind, and conscious mind to see that that's in the past. It's not in the present. We're all stuck in the past. So we have to heal the past that's stuck in our body, in memory. Lift your head up and down. I recognize my pain.
I recognize my pain.
I recognize the pain in my body.
I recognize the pain in my body.
Hold here. Good. Now she's recognizing the pain and becoming body aware of it so her body can begin to change it, heal it. Now say, I recognize. Good. Now say, I recognize right.
I recognize right.
And she doesn't recognize right, the thing that's making her in pain. Or the absence of right, or the fear, whatever it is, has to do with right. Hold your breath. Looking down, I recognize right in every cell of my body. I recognize right in every cell of my body. How many of you in the audience know that you feel a wrongness inside yourself? You're fearful of being wrong, fearful of making a mistake, head up and down. Maybe you need to be right, but people make you wrong. Whatever is going on with Brittany around right. 5. And what's so cool about this is we don't need to talk about it. Breath in. We just need to get her brain and body and energy to let go of being wrong, not right. The reactions to all the things she feels isn't right. I recognize right in every cell of my body. I recognize right. And breathe. Lift your head up and down. Good. Eyes open. Eyes closed. Much better. And hold this up, Brittany. I recognize right in every cell of my body. Beautiful. Feeling right. Good. Right. I recognize right. Good. Now, did you see what just happened? I want you to focus on right in your heart. Right in your heart chakra. Because that's the next priority, is not feeling right. Not feeling right in her heart. Take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. And think 9 right in your heart chakra. 9 right in your heart chakra. 9 right. 9 right. Beautiful. And breathe. Head up and down. Thinking right in your heart chakra. Right. To be right in your heart. To be right in your heart energy. Right. Good. Cleared out of the energy system now. That became priority. Hold here. Good. So I had to go through her conscious mind to reach the unconscious mind. That psychology, hypnosis only attempts to do, but we can do it very quickly, very succinctly, accurately, and clear that out. And have it have the effect at the physical level to heal her body. And then we found the interference in the heart. And now that's cleared. Good. How are we doing? A lot better? Yeah, good. All right, good. Excellent. Let's see what we're going to do next. Good. Good. I'd like you to touch the pain, that 6-7 pain area. Can you touch the pain area? Okay, good. And then bring this arm up and just keep touching it. Yeah, got it? Keep touching it. Hold here. Good. I'm going to do something more advanced. Oh, good. I'm just verifying that her body is recognizing that area. And she is. So good. So let's have you come on up slowly. You might feel a little lightheaded. And I want you just to walk back and forth here. Okay? So just walk back and forth. And allow your arms to swing. Okay? Good. Yeah. Good. And go back. Good. Okay. Great. All right, come back here. Great. And lie down. How long have you had this pain?
Since high school,
Since high school?
20 years.
I'm sorry,
20 years.
20 years. All right. Junior high or high school?
I think high school.
High school, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade.
That's probably 9th grade.
9th grade? Okay. No injuries at that time?
Injured.
Pardon?
I've been injured, yeah.
Did you get injured then?
I got injured a lot. It's hard to remember.
Okay. So I want you to think about getting injured. We'll just do the general thing. Think about getting injured. And she goes weak. What clued me, we listen to our patients, our clients, so we can really learn a lot. She said, oh, I get injured a lot. So it's like an ongoing pattern of getting injured. Yes? So I want you to think about getting injured. Because if we don't clear that pattern, what's going to happen to her? She's going to get injured again and again and again. All right? So I recognize that, pardon me, just think about getting injured. Yes. Good. Take a deep breath in, hold your breath. Think about getting injured, looking up here, thinking about getting injured. Oh. Good. Thinking about getting injured. Good. And breathe. Head up and down. Think about getting injured. 7. Breath in, eyes open and down. 7. Thinking about getting injured. Over and over again. Because understand, her body intelligence, her heart and soul intelligence, it all knows why. We just have to be clever enough to know how to access it and then help the person to heal it. Head up and down. And this pulse of creation or love that we all have right here takes apart the negativity, the negative programming, and the stress pattern. Good. Good. Getting injured. Ah, that changed even more. Good. Getting injured. Good. I want you to say, I'm not getting injured anymore.
I'm not getting injured anymore.
Good. I don't need to get injured.
I need to get injured.
That's right. I don't need to get injured. Yes. Good. Now, since she's had so many injuries, for this demonstration, I would want to find other stresses related to those, but I'm just going to do my best to go all the way back. So I want you to go back to 9th grade, but even farther back, 9th grade or before. And I want you to think about the biggest stress that happened to you, the big stress in your life. Family divorce, breakup, teacher failing you in school, a coach saying you weren't going to be ever good at athletics and you wanted to be an Olympian, whatever it is. Got something? She said yes. So hold this and think about that. Hold this. And so that's weakening her whole system. Keep thinking of that stress. Breath in. Looking up here, thinking about it, how it made you feel, think and believe. And breathe, head up and down, thinking about that stress. Take a deep breath in, closing down, thinking about that stress. And breathe, head up and down. Good. Think about that stress now. Good. Think about it now. Thinking about that stress. I want you to focus on that that stress in something called the sacral center or the womb center. That stress right there. Breath in, hold your breath and look down and think about that in your sacral center, sacral energy, sacral chakra, it's also called. And breathe. Head up and down. Good, 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 good. Hold here. Think about that big stress again. Good. Beautiful. All right. So that one was also there. Good. Say, I recognize passion in every cell of my body.
I recognize passion in every cell of my body.
Good. I recognize friendship in every cell of my body.
I recognize friendship in every cell of my body.
Hold here. I recognize friendship in every cell of my body.
I recognize friendship in every cell of my body.
I recognize passion in every cell.
I recognize passion in every cell.
Good. Good. Right. She got bushwhacked around her passion and friendship and early on. You understand that? Yes. All right. Cool. How we doing? A lot better. Yeah. All right. Let's have you go walk again. All right. So the first time I worked on her, we could call that one session, and this could be a second, or as practitioners, you can do longer sessions like this, and then you could go longer if you wanted to as well. But go ahead and walk. Good. 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 And one more time. Great. And then come back over here. Good. All right. Good. All right. Oh, go ahead and look at everybody.
Everybody? Okay.
Good. All right. All right. And we can see that there's some changes in her. That's what I wanted everyone to look at. See her prettiness come out? Yeah. Lighter and brighter. Where's your pain now? On a scale of 1 to 10, 0 to 10?
It's still there a little bit, but it's not stabbing me.
Not stabbing you.
Yeah.
Good. So before it was a 6 or 7, what number would you put on it now?
It's probably like a 3.
A 3. So at least 50% better. Just there. All right. I'm not trying to get her 100% today. Just get to the root of some of the causes going on with you. See the good, be thankful. And this deeper process I can take her through to get it 100%. But I just want you to see that so we can do a demonstration on someone else.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
But better's better, right? Yeah. And you can see the difference. All right.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Careful. All right. Good. All right. So there was someone else who said they had pain in the audience. You did. And was it you? She said she was perfect. Do you have pain too? Oh yeah. How bad is it on a scale of 1 to 10? It's an 8. Wow. Pardon? It's a different pain. Mental, emotional, or physical? Okay, both. What number would you put yourself at? An 8. You already said an 8. Would you like me to help you on the camera? Yes? All right, then come on up. All right. Have her come on up here. Good. Yeah, take the stairs. All right. Beautiful. All right. Go ahead and lay down on your back. Can you get up there? It's only a requirement. You got to be able to get up. All right. So go ahead and put your head there. Feet down here. And we'll get started. Now, good. Go ahead and scoot, come this way. Yeah, a little farther. Perfect. Perfect. Now, pardon?
My hands, I can't relax my hands.
You can't relax your head. Guess what? I brought this just for you. Better? There you go. All right, now, you're wondering, where did I find those frequencies of energy, like friendship, from this chart? And I teach in my level 1 course how to find it very quickly on the chart. If you notice, I didn't really need to look at it because I've been doing it a long time, so I have it memorized. But on that, and then I have a protocol that I teach in level 1. There's the whole protocol. There's like 50 things here, close to that, to do. But I teach you how to navigate through these things because they're the primary ways that people get ill and sick, have pain, and how to get them unstuck from it. So pretty simple. And in 3 days, my practitioners learn all that. And I make sure that they learn. It's very important to me. So I help anybody who gets stuck along the way. Some people do in their learning process. And you know what I find? Anytime someone can't learn something or has a difficulty with it, it's always a childhood trauma. In fact, there's a study called the ACE study, Adverse Childhood Events, that was done by Stanford University. It's an ongoing study. It's been going, I believe, about 25, 30 years. And what they discovered is this. Every single human being has been traumatized. 100%. Every single person is traumatized. And it doesn't get better with time, so they say. It just gets worse. That's because it goes into the memory. And the older we get, the more it works its thing on us, right? So the only difference, tell me your name, is Pat. Between Pat and Brittany is a little bit old. She's been doing it a lot longer, all right? But I help people at all ages get better. So we just need to figure out what's going on with Pat. All right, so hold this up and hold. Close your eyes. I'm going to check her energy system. Nothing. I'm going to check her brain and nervous system. Oh, this is the master reflex of the body. It's jammed, and therefore we know she has a fragmented hard drive, a fragmented brain and nervous system, and a lot of confusion going on. So let's just see what's going on. All right, bring this down. Can you lift this leg and hold it? Good. And this one? Hold. She could do that. Go ahead and open your eyes and go ahead and do it again. Good. And hold here. Good. So she passed the first 2 priority tests. Neither one of those are reactive. Yes. Happiness. But her body is engaged right now in trying to protect itself from losing happiness, from not being happy. So Pat's had a lot of times in her life where she's lost happiness. Things happen, whatever it was. Am I right? Yeah. So take a deep breath in and hold your breath. Open your eyes and look downward. And just think about happiness and just see what memories come to mind, because her subconscious memory gave me this to work on. And this is the priority, happiness. Happiness, whether it's Pat always trying to make everybody else happy, or that she's lost her happiness, or people do things that don't make her happy, whatever it is for Pat. And breathe. And breathe. Good. And lift your head up for me and then down. And just know it's okay to cry. You're doing great. You're doing great. 7. Breath in. Hold your breath. And looking down. 7. Happiness. 7. Happiness. Whatever comes up for you, just allow yourself to feel it and experience it. And bring your head up and down. And just in a few seconds, and down. Good. The body and brain, let go of it. Down. Take a deep breath in, hold your breath. Eyes open and down, open and down. 7. Happiness. Seeing what else comes up. Might be the same thing, it might be a little different, whatever it is. Holding your breath, thinking about that. Happiness. 7. Happiness. And breathe. Lift your head up and then down. The head is all about resetting the brain and nervous system, the cerebellum, which is part of the fight or flight response. This is getting more relaxed here. Breath in, hold your breath and look down again. 7, happiness, whatever comes up for you, Pat. Just feel and think about it. Understand her body's been reacting to this 24 hours a day in the subconscious. So we're just getting the awareness that it's in the past. Even if it happened yesterday, that's the past. Good. And breathe. And getting her brain and nervous system, body and mind, head up, and soul energy to let it go. To let it go. Very gentle process. Good. Good. I recognize happiness in every cell of my body. Yeah. And she doesn't recognize the happiness. We could test it. I recognize happiness in every cell. She goes weak. Breath in. Eyes open, looking upward. I recognize happiness in every cell of my body. Every human being deserves happiness. Recognize happiness in every cell of my body. I recognize happiness. Good. Good. And breathe. Head up and down. Lift your head up and then down. Good. Eyes open, close. Good. I recognize happiness. That's better. Hold here. I recognize happiness. I recognize happiness. Good. Good. Take a deep, you can put that arm down. Good. Hold your breath. Look up here, thinking of happiness. Beautiful. And breathe. Lift your head up and down. Much better. Good. 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 Okay. Good. Very nice. Now, can you remember the first time there was that loss of happiness in your life? Yeah, think about that. And just feel that be right there. Yes. Take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. And look up here. Just think about it, feel it, what it made you feel, think, and believe. That's right. There you go. And breathe. Good. And lift your head up and then down. You're doing great, thinking about it. Good. 7. Take a deep breath in again. Closed eyes and down. Feeling and thinking about it. That's right. And breathe. Lift your head up and then down. Good. Ah, much better. Thinking about that stress. Good. Close your eyes. Thinking about it. Beautiful. Bring this one up. Hold. Good. Now her brain can switch from survival to healing mode. Yes. Defrag the brain. Very good. Now, was there another person in this experience? Yes. Yes. Good. Thinking of that person. And was it they who something happened to them, or did they do something to you? Okay. Thinking about what they did to you. Good. Thinking about what they did to you. Good. All right, we got that part. Okay. Good. That's all right. I was asking some questions in my mind to see where I need to go with her. And here's what it is. You willing to work with me a little deeper? Okay. I want you to say these words. I'm 100% willing to forgive them for all the harm they caused me. I'm 100% willing. Breath in. Hold your breath. Eyes open and down. And just feel it in your heart, mind, and soul. I'm 100% willing to forgive them. It's been a long time. Forgiveness does not condone what that person did. It helps free you from what they did. I'm 100% willing. She hasn't been willing, otherwise she would have done it all these years. 100% willing to forgive them for all the harm they caused me. There you go. And breathe. Head up and down. Good, good. I'm 100% willing to forgive them. Good. Good. 100% willing to forgive them. Good. And I forgive them now for all the harm and wrong they caused me, to lose all that happiness from their thoughts, words, and deeds. I forgive them. Good. 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 Excellent. Good. All right. That was a missing ingredient there. Good. How you doing? Okay. Okay. You're welcome. Now, I want you to say these words. I love and accept myself. I love and accept myself. Take a deep breath in and look up here. I love and accept myself just as I am, as the pet that I am. I love and accept myself. And accept myself just as I am, as the little girl that I was and am. I love and accept myself. There you go. There you go. And breathe and lift your head up and down. Beautiful. Good. Good. Beautiful. So good. I love and accept myself as I am. I am worthy and deserving of love and acceptance. I'm worthy and deserving of love. Good. That one's okay. Good. 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 Okay. As a practitioner, doctor, you could have done this in a few different sessions or all at once like I just did with her. And she's pretty good for now. I have her come back tomorrow if it was in my office and do a little bit of homework, and then we take her a little deeper. But she's doing great. And you're welcome. She's already in her internal healing process, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual healing. We must treat the whole person. And whole person is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Reconnecting to love, to God. Yes. All right. Yeah. And that's who's doing the healing. I'm just the vessel in the moment. Yes, the servant. The servant, yeah. All right. Beautiful. So come up slowly. Yeah. We'll work on that next time. I'm young. It's going to be there. Yeah. All right. Hold here. All right. Good. Good. And okay. All right, you'll be lightheaded because we got her out of survival mode, which is one physiology. And I want you just to walk back and forth here until that lightheadedness goes away. Good. And come back and just walk. There you go. Good. Keep walking. Yep. Just keep walking, allowing the arms to swing naturally. Good. And just walk again. There you go. Notice she's walking a little faster. Keep walking. It'll keep getting better the more you walk. Because now she's integrating what we did, left, right brain, making its cross-crawl connections that were blocked before. And I made sure that they were unblocked, and now the energy's flowing left, right, down through her body, up through her body. And when she goes to bed at night, she'll do a lot of healing, because we heal when we sleep, right? When we get into that, into this, come on over here. When we get into the, don't step on that, slip, okay, good. When we get into this relaxation phase, instead of survival, then we start to heal. We sleep. Can you see the difference in her face? Yeah, right? Yeah. There you go. Stop saying that. All right. Good. All right. Or you could say, I'm old, but I'm good. Cool. Cool. And so we get to do is we get to help people really heal. It's about healing people, helping people heal themselves and not treat the symptoms or conditions. I've done this with every kind of condition you can imagine, whether it's neurological, hormonal, immune, musculoskeletal, injuries, accidents. It doesn't matter. The body heals when you remove the interference, the mind-body, soul interference. And as we do that, everything I did so far with Pat and Brittany, I teach how to do. I just know how to move through those protocols, but everything I did is on there. It's just knowing which one to do. So as you get better, faster, then you know where to go. And you can check very quickly to see which it is. So you kind of saw me do something there, but I'm just really fast and I'm very intuitive. But you don't need to be psychic or to do this. But as you get treated and get the care in our courses, your intuition, your brain, your pineal gland, all of that begins to function better and better and better, and you become more and more intuitive. I was somewhat intuitive when I was younger, but nowhere like I am today, because I've had a lot of this done to myself, which has helped me to become more intuitional and knowing where to take the protocols in there. So how about one other person with a pain condition? Yes? All right, come on up. You're telling people to go. What level of pain are you in? From 0 to 10, 10 being the worst? 5. A 5, great. Not great that you're a 5, but great that it'll be a good example.
Yes. When I see too much is when it hurts.
When you speak too much?
No, sit.
Sit too much. Okay. So go ahead and lie down.
But I don't really know what it is. It's osteoporosis on my back.
Osteoporosis. Okay. Great.
I'm young for that, I say.
All right. So what my focus would be is, what's the cause of the osteoporosis?
Yes, me too.
All right. What's the cause? All right. It doesn't matter what the name is that a person has. You understand that? I've seen people with all kinds of chronic illnesses, Lyme, Crohn's, fibromyalgia. You can just throw out all the names and help them to get better, not by treating the condition, but by helping them find and resolve the true causes through the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body that we are. So what's your name?
Alejandra.
Alejandra. Okay. So hold this up, Alejandra. And let's just start and see where we need to go. Of course, it would be the heart. So we're going to start there. That's the priority. Her heart energy, heart chakra. 7. Okay, take a deep breath in. Look up here. Holding your breath, I want you to think about this energy called sex in your heart chakra. And the number 7, looking up at me. Sex 7 in your heart chakra. Sex 7 in your heart chakra. Good. Sex 7. Whatever that means. Has little or nothing to do with sex, but has everything to do with your feminine power and your feminine heart and how it's been bushwhacked in your life.
Do I breathe or hold my
Breathe. Head up and down. All right. No, don't breathe. Take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. We have them hold the breath because we're doing a form of breath work here, which stimulates the sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system to start evaluating what's going on with the body. And as it evaluates it, it recognizes how to save its life. Because without air, we don't live. Thinking about sex in your heart again. There you go. And breathe. Breathe. Lift your head up and down. 7. Take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. And look down. 7, sex in your heart chakra. 7, sex in your heart chakra. 7, sex in the heart chakra. Beautiful. And breathe. Lift your head up and down, Alejandra. Good. And she's getting more and more relaxed and in balance here. Good. Say, I recognize sex in every cell of my body.
I recognize self in every cell of my body.
5. Breath in. Looking up here. 5, sex. We've all been disinformationed on what that word really means because we relate it to something two people do together, but it actually is about our masculine and feminine power. The other thing has a word called intercourse after it, so that's the actual word for that. But this is about our power, the power of the heart, and how our beautiful feminine heart got bushwhacked. Head up and down. Good. And so the way to help her heal this pain, whatever it is for her to get her power back, the power of her own heart, the power of the feminine deep inside. And when that's really embodied, not only will the pain go away, but remember I said, all true healing is a transformational journey. She'll transform into her higher version of herself. And it's just so rewarding to be able to help my patients, clients, to come into their deep power of who they are, their true nature, their authentic self, who they were designed to be, and not carry these wounds that make us less than who we really are. So hold here. I recognize sex in every cell of my body. I recognize sex. Hold this up. Nope, still not done. 5, breath in. Hold your breath. I recognize sex in every cell of my body. I recognize my power of the feminine in every cell of my body and all of my being. 5, sex. 5, I recognize sex in every cell of my body. Beautiful. And lift your head up and down. Good. Take a deep breath in, hold your breath, and look down. 5, sex. 5, sex. 5, sex. 5, sex. And breathe. Head up and down. Good. Good, that's better. I recognize sex in every cell of my body. Good. I recognize sex in every cell of my body. Hold. Good. Excellent. Beautiful. All right. Good. 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 How long have you had this problem?
Diagnosed 2 years ago. I mean, it started, and then this year they told me I need to take Prolia, and I don't want to, so that's why I'm here.
Okay. So,
I want to heal naturally.
okay. So what diagnosis did they give you?
Osteoporosis.
Okay, so that one. So I say, I recognize osteoporosis.
I recognize osteoporosis.
So she doesn't recognize she has that problem. So nothing that anyone would do is going to help unless we can get her to recognize it and get her body to fix it. Really simple. So I recognize the osteoporosis.
I recognize the osteoporosis.
7. Sex again. Breath in. Closed and down. 7 secs. I recognize the osteoporosis.
I recognize the osteoporosis.
Holding your breath. Closed eyes and down. Recognizing the osteoporosis. And breathe. Good. Head up and down. Good. I recognize the osteoporosis. 7. Breath in. Eyes open and down. 7. Recognizing the osteoporosis. And breathe. Head up and down. Good. 7. Breath in. Eyes open and down. 7. I recognize the osteoporosis. So we're removing the interference and rebalancing her brain and nervous system, sympathetics and parasympathetic nervous system. This is a neurological oriented technique. And breathe, head up and down. Good. I recognize the osteoporosis. Good. Not quite. For the doctors in the audience, you can see there's a little bit of tension left there. So we got to take, that means there's still an imbalance. Breath in. Closed and down. 7. I recognize the osteoporosis in every cell of my body. I recognize the osteoporosis in every cell. Good. And breathe. Head up and then down. Good. I recognize the osteoporosis, and that's out of there. Good. Beautiful. I recognize the osteoporosis. Good. I believe I can heal.
I believe I can heal.
Now you're working on patients. I believe I can heal. She doesn't believe she can heal.
I do.
Her subconscious is saying, that's what they do. That's what I do. I believe I can heal.
I believe I can heal.
Nothing. So her conscious mind says, I believe. And her subconscious mind goes, no.
Oh my God.
I believe I can heal.
I believe
Yeah.
I can heal.
Breath in. Looking down. I believe I can heal. I believe I can heal. I believe I can heal this. Good. And breathe. Head up and down. Good. 7. Breath in. Close and down. I believe I can heal this osteoporosis stuff. I believe I can heal. I believe I can heal. Good. And head up and down. Good. I believe I can heal. Good. Breath in. Eyes open and down. I believe I can heal. I believe I can heal. And breathe. Head up and down. Good. I believe I can heal. Now she does. I believe I can heal. Good. Good. I believe will heal.
I believe
I believe I am healed.
I believe I'm healed.
I believe I am healed.
I believe I am healed.
I believe I am healed.
I believe I am.
Good, those are okay. All right, again, all in my level 1 course. All right, just need to find the one that's on that 2-page sheet. All right, perfect. But I know how to read signals in people very quickly, so that's what makes me a master, grandmaster of the work. But it's all there to learn and to work on people with. How you feeling? How's the pain already? It's a lot better. Yes. Yeah. Probably at least 50% better, if not more. Yeah. Good. Now, I recognize my bones.
I recognize my bone.
Okay, good. Calcium. That's good. Oh, wow. What was that? No, you don't want to know. So, this helps to have a doctor background, but as you learn, you'll get all the stuff in my master certification that I do with people. It's about two-year certification. She doesn't recognize a hormone that puts calcium into the bones called calcitonin. So I want you to say, I recognize calcitonin.
I recognize calcitonin.
She doesn't recognize that.
I don't.
No, you don't.
I mean, my
I recognize calcitonin.
I recognize calcitonin.
Yeah.
It's unconscious is what I think.
Yeah, breath in. We're helping your unconscious, subconscious, conscious minds all work together to recognize it, therefore get out of the way, get the mind out of the way, the emotions behind this. These feelings in here are all about right and wrong, not feeling right, getting bushwhacked around right, whatever's happened in your life, all the things that have wronged you and didn't feel right. You understand that? All through your life. And that's what's eating her up. That's what's making her bones brittle or osteoporosis. Head up and down. But we change the cause of this, we empower her and help her to heal on all levels. 5, breath in. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to treat symptom patterns anymore. I decided that a long, long time ago. And I want to help people to heal what's really going on with them so they can have really beautiful, not only healthy lives physically, but healthy mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and really achieve what they came here to achieve, to really access their human potential for this life. And that'll bring a lot of what? What's that word? Happiness, joy, inner peace, love. That's right. And breathe, head up and down. And again, the vibration we're using is love, over and over again, because that's the constant in the universe that Einstein discovered and that we all need to be aware of and to use properly to bring that vibration in. Where are we now? Okay, I recognize calcitonin. I recognize calcitonin. Good. Good. Excellent. Excellent. Good. 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 Now remember, the acid-alkaline system, if that's out of balance, this acid from all the stress is going to eat away the bones too. But as we balance these systems, the brain and nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic system, then the body starts to start creating more of the alkaline system we're designed with. Good. All right, well, that'll be a lot better for now. All right, come on up and go ahead and walk back and forth here. And just notice what's different, Alejandra. Good.
I feel so light.
Yeah. Yeah, keep walking. You're doing great. All right. And come on over here. Good. And just stand here. And just notice a little bit of difference in the way she looks than when we began. Yeah. And where level of pain are you in now?
Actually, I don't feel any pain.
You don't feel any pain? What happened to it? Where'd it go?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Awesome. So again, the key is to be able to access the stress wherever it is. Is it in what part of the mind? Conscious, unconscious, subconscious, superconscious? Is it cellular memory? Is it out in the fields, in the chakra areas? Where is it blocked? In the right order. In the right order, the right priority. And the body leaves all the clues. All you need to do is learn how to work the system. And you learn, and then you get better with each person you work on. Get better every time you get worked on with this work. And so I find it very exciting. I have a goal to train thousands of practitioners in the way that I do this work because it's repeatable. It gets the results you saw here. And I only did level 1. I have level 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6 in my certification. All of those. But I wanted to be able to help doctors become true healers at the cause level in just my first course, seminar, level 1, because I knew less than this my first 15 years of practice. Less than what I just did tonight. And I got very good results. But again, I always wanted to get better and better, help people deeper and deeper, and figure out the difficult ones that slip through the cracks, so to speak. And then I started figuring out more and more and more. And I say I figured it out. I'm blessed that I have a good communication with Source that shows me the way so I can help people. All right? Because that's where healing comes from. It comes from above, down, inside, and then out to every cell of your body and then out to the world. When one of us hurts, we all hurt. When one of us heals at the quantum level, all of us have a little bit of healing. You might have felt some of that in the audience. Yes? Connected to something? Changed? I remember I went to a Lions meeting a long time ago. They asked me to speak. It was back in the late 1980s or early 90s. And I just gave a lecture like this, just for like 20 minutes. I talked about stress and how that affected us. And this one lady at the beginning, who was older, she was probably about 75 years old for sure in the room. And she said, I have this shoulder problem. Can you help that? Blah, blah, blah. She talked about it in the beginning. And I said, oh yeah, come see me. And about 3 months later, I ran into her at Trader Joe's market. And I said, I thought you wanted to see me for that shoulder. She said, oh, after your seminar, it went away. It healed. It's just the power of the soul to heal when we have an awareness and we reconnect. All right. So I'm a reconnector. All right. As I said, I'm here to help doctors become true healers, and healers out there, they're doing all sorts of, this healing modality and that one, to have a system that's consistent, dependable, that they can use with their patients, their clients, and at a level that we would expect doctors to do to help us truly heal. So help those healers become true doctors that do no harm, as in the Hippocratic Oath. First, do no harm. And so that's what we're doing, help people heal. And though it looked like Pat was crying here in pain, no, she was releasing her pain, is what you saw. How you feeling, Pat? Happy. She said happy. On a scale of 0 to 10, what is that level of pain that was an 8? Physically, mentally, and emotionally, where are you now? Say it again. A 3? A 3. A 3, from an 8 to a 3. And she's old. And she went from an 8 to a 3. That's right. Right. Age doesn't matter. We might have a little slower healing in our body just because of all the other stresses, but over several months of care doing this, just get better and better and better, and we'd be able to track other things in our patients' lives that would make them worse, which is great. Like they do good and they come. I had a man who came to see me, and he was had chronic pain. Worked on him, all his pain went away. Every visit I worked on him, but he'd come back in pain again. And after that happened 6 times, I went, "What are you doing when you get home? When does the pain start?" And he goes, 6 p.m. every night. Really? 6 p.m.? He said, "What do you do at 6 p.m.? What's going on?" He says, "I turn on CNN. Oh, it's horrible what I watch. Oh my God. Oh, the war and the things people are doing." And I cleared him on all that he sees in CNN, and then recommended, stop watching that. Just all that violence and all that upset in there. And his pain stayed gone, and he healed, and his life changed. Pretty cool? Well, I'd love to share a few stories with you, if I might, about some of my patients. I had a little 11-and-a-half-year-old brought to me, and she was a little Palestinian girl in Israel. I went there and I've trained Palestinians and Israelis in some of this work. And I felt like, peace through healing, right? To heal the hearts and minds of the people to unify. So I was hoping to leave a healing legacy there. And she was born with 2 holes in her heart. And she told her mother when she was just a little girl, "No doctors, Mommy, no surgery. I'll tell you the doctor that's going to heal me." And she heard me speak, and she whispered to her mother in her ear, "Dr. Doug's the doctor that's going to heal me." And it still kind of brings some tears and emotions to me, because it's so beautiful, that innocence and that truth in her. I worked with her and her mother for a couple hours a day. And she went back a few months later to Hadassah Medical Center, and there were no holes in her heart anymore. What caused it? Her father died when she was in the womb. A perfect example of epigenetics. Her mother's heart was shocked with a big hole and loss in her heart for her husband she adored, that she loved so dearly. In fact, she hadn't dated anyone at all in the 11-and-a-half years of that child's life. So it was really a true love loss. And then what happened? She healed her heart, physically, mentally, and emotionally. After that, I went to go visit my kids and came over to my former wife's home and came in the house, and there her husband was, walking like a zombie, looking like a zombie, just walking slow and gray and just skinny and just, I said, "What happened to you, Paul?" And he said, "Lyme. Got Lyme 6 months ago, and there was boxes of all sorts of treatments, antibiotics and other stuff." And I said, "How's that working?" He says, "It's not working." I said, "Would you like some help?" He said, "Yes, please." So I happened to keep a table over there to treat my family. And so I set it up and I worked with him pretty deeply, a couple hours a day for 3 days. On the 4th day, he hiked in the mountains with full strength, feeling great. He only had a little bit of locking in the left arm joint, and then a few more sessions got his body to release that. And he totally healed that. Because it's not the germs or spirochetes or whatever that cause the disease. It's our stress that short circuits our immune system and doesn't allow it to recognize the problem. So we get it to do that, and then the person can heal, which is pretty awesome. And that was back in 2012, or 11 or 12, I forget which, that I treated him. And just in the last few years, we had dinner together, and he said, "I never thanked you deeply enough for healing. I know that it was you who helped me to heal the Lyme problem. But again, I didn't treat Lyme. I don't treat anything. I helped him heal his stresses in his life that short-circuited his system, that broke down into that named illness. And that's really the secret. Find the stress-induced cause, clear it from all levels of the body and being, help them to shift their consciousness from fear to love. There's a forgiveness process. It's a 12-step process. It's also in the technique, but you saw everyone get better without me doing a direct forgiveness, but every time I'm touching the body, it's a forgiveness. It's a let go process. And then there's these 12 steps. I didn't want to have 12 steps. It just happened to be that many when I wrote them down. And on Pat, it was her willingness, the unwillingness to let that go because of what happened to her, whatever that is. And do I ever really need to know what happened to help her heal? No. That's why it works so great with teenagers. See a lot of teenagers. Do I have to talk to him, Mom? No, you just lie there and he just have you think about stuff. I can do that. So they come in, put him down here. I had a 2-year-old who came in, and I asked the mother, what are you all doing here? And she goes, the 2-year-old told us, I need to see Dr. Doug. 2-year-old. I've been treating her since she was an egg, before it got to the womb. So I treated the mother for about a year, and then she got pregnant. And then I treated her through the pregnancy. And every woman I've worked with so far, and there's been many, have had non-eventful, that's a good thing, non-eventful pregnancies, all delivered in 2 hours or less. Labors, 2 hours or less, every single one. In fact, I had one woman who had a 36-hour labor, the previous child. She was 8 months pregnant, worried about going through the same thing, said, let's get to work on you. We cleared the big stress that made her lock up and be in that labor for 36 hours. And when the labor came, literally she was having the baby and just popped right out, no pain, because all that tension was gone out of her body, and the stress and the beliefs that pregnancy is painful and horrible and all that, by clearing those beliefs. And done it over and over again. So exciting. So back to my little 2-year-old. So I said, okay, I treated the mother first. And then the little 2-year-old, before she even got on the table, she went like this to her mother. Go. And told her mother to leave the room. And when I say 2, I mean, she was shy of 2. She's about 22 or 23 months old, not 2.5. Told her mother to leave, in the room with the doctor alone. She hops on the table. I look at her and I go, do you know what you want to work on? And she went, just like that, with a little cute little 2-year-old pursed face, All right, well, think about it. Tested her. She went weak. It was a reactive thought, stress in her life. I cleared that all the way through. I said, any other stresses that you need to work on? And she goes, yeah. Okay, think about that one. And I cleared that one all the way through. And I said, anything else? She goes, you good? She hopped off the table with a smile and left the treatment room. So I've worked on children as early as a few minutes old, like my own. And some of my pregnant patients have asked me, could you be there for delivery and balance my baby when it's born? And I've had some, boom, and balance them and doing great. Get them in alignment with the mother's energy. So it just feels so good. Imagine being able to help people like I just did in a few minutes. And imagine as you take people further through care and go deeper in clearing the stress and go into deeper physiological, neurological, hormonal balance, the more stress you take out of their system. Health is simple. if you have 100% function of your cells, then what level of health do you have? 100%. So it's about getting the cellular functions, which is the messaging and the communication between the cells and inside the cell, to work. And the only thing that interferes with it is stress. There's physical, mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual, and chemical, electrical stresses in our environment, those two things there. But as we balance all this, it gets the body to go into its own natural detoxification state, and then we support them with the functional medicine and supplements, and they cleanse out those toxins. Very simple. So I want to appreciate and thank you so much for being here, an amazing audience to listen to me tonight. I'd like to take any questions that you have, and also if I might share a little bit about my course. Can I do that first? So I handed you a special sheet that has my level 1 course. My next one is in Orlando, Florida, and the one after that is in Las Vegas, and in August. And then I'll be putting up the October one on my website very, very soon, where that's going to be. I also have a course in mid-July in Prague, Czech Republic. If you'd like to come to Prague, it's a beautiful city. And I live there a few months a year because I just love it and love the people. And we have quite a beautiful cellular resonance community there. The practitioners in a town called Brno, it's about 1 million plus people. Every Friday, my practitioners get together and they treat each other to upgrade themselves, to do that. So I like to form pods in cities, in Miami, in Dallas, in Los Angeles, in Prague, all over the world, where my practitioners, whether they're in practice doing this or whether they're someone who just wanted to learn this and help their family, and then they get better and better in the pods, treating each other and helping themselves heal more deeply. And so my oldest practitioner is 82 that I trained, a naturopathic doctor in Colorado, very lovely woman. And the youngest person was that 11-and-a-half-year-old who came with her mother to my course, and she just sat there. She's just really smart. She watched everything I did, how I did it, like a genius. Her mother had a migraine. She goes, "Oh, I have this bad migraine headache." She goes, "I can treat you, Mom." She goes, "You learned?" She goes, "Yeah." And she treated her mom, and she called me up and said, "She treated me. My migraine's gone. They haven't come back." All right. So I didn't know she was learning. It was great. So I'm going to teach you how to test the body, how to communicate with the body, how to go through that protocol that I showed you a sheet. It's just on 2 pages. And it's not little tiny writing. It's fairly good type. I can read it at my age. And how to go through that whole thing, how to find the frequencies. There's 280 frequencies in this class. And I teach you how to find that and how to really uncover the true nature and cause of pain, sickness, disease, and human suffering, and help people to raise their vibration, increase their consciousness, so we can bring more love on the planet. That's my secret agenda. That's not secret. I want to bring more love here. And love comes from above down, inside and out. So the more we clear the fear, pain, and suffering of each person, the more they connect with the true source. The mind's not capable of love. That's why people fight when they say they love each other, get divorced. "I hate you now." All those things that happen, and all those bad relationships, which are the biggest source of stress that I clear from people. It's either their parents' marriage when they were a kid that upset them, or in their own life. Of course, there's things that happen to children as well, because U.S. statistics show that close to 25% of all children are sexually abused in some way between 0 and 17. So, and reports are much higher than that. So everyone's been abused and traumatized, as the ACE study from Stanford says. And so we're really helping people deeply heal what's really causing their pain, their dis-ease. And, you know, when I can help people like my ex, my kids, my brother, I call him my husband-in-law, right? He married her. It's good. And help so many people with anything that walks in the office. And I built a very prominent practice, and I got rid of all the things that I was told in school to have. A physical therapy department. After my first 2 years of practice, I got rid of all of it. My x-ray, all that, got rid of all that. I didn't want to radiate people anymore because I'm not doing anything that I would need to take x-rays for. Why add more radiation when I know that the physical findings are really what? Mind-body stress. That's right. So then I help them. And by getting rid of all that stuff, my practice doubled, then tripled in the matter of a very short time by helping people with that. And the more that my practitioners embody their authentic self, the love within themselves, that in itself is an attractive force. And to really just love people all day long. It's a whole different practice. And I love it. And I invite you to join us in either Orlando, my Orlando and my Las Vegas courses. By the way, the Las Vegas course that I do every year, it's sponsored by the American Naturopathic Medical Association. So that includes their conference that comes right after it with all the speakers. And in that one, I buy you a ticket to that conference so you can listen to all the great speakers on nutrition and that kind of stuff. So again, let's, oh, there's a code on there. If you go to the wait list, no, that's for the free gift. On the yellow side, there's a code at the very bottom. It says CRQHlevel1.com. If you go there and put yourself on the wait list, it's really actually a list for us to email you a special code for a $500 discount on the Level 1 program for being here tonight with me and filming with me. Appreciate you so much being my studio audience tonight. And so that's a gift to all of you for being here. So just go there tonight, today, and get that discount. And we'd love to see you in Orlando. In Orlando, I can guarantee in the Orlando this May that I'll work with each and every one of you who comes. So you'll not just get treated by each other, but you'll have an opportunity to work with me. And that's just included. I'll make sure I get to work with you in the program no matter what and help you with whatever's going on with you. All right? So again, questions and answers. There's a microphone right over there. Kurt, right? If you'd like to take the microphone and anyone has a question, because the, yeah. Does anyone have a question for me? Please.
Okay, so the first question is like for these, let's say Orlando, how big is the audience? It's like 20, 100, 500?
Oh, how many people will be?
Uh-huh.
This one I'm making very small, so there'll probably be no more than a dozen to 15 people in this class.
Oh, wow.
If for some reason it's larger, then I will fly in one of my top students to assist me and help all of you as well.
Yes, and the other question is, like when I was there, like of course my conscious mind says I believe, like how do, like I know I believe, but you said like my subconscious. So do you have techniques for make the subconscious agree with the conscious?
Yes, we just did it when you were here.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're just here. When you said, I believe I can get completely well, right? I believe I can heal this osteoporosis thing. As soon as you said that, your subconscious went, no, I can't, and here's all the reasons why. and it's back there. So I brought it up to the surface, and then I cleared it all the way through. And then when you said it, your arms, your legs were strong. Your subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind now agree, I believe. And so now you're in the belief, yes, I can heal this.
Thank you for that.
Cool, great question.
Thank you.
Several questions. Yes, anyone else who would have a question for me about anything?
Because for these, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a doctor, I'm an accountant. But I want to learn these. With your level 1, 2, and 3, so basically my question is, do I have to have a medical background? I have zero medical background. My friend here, she does, but
Yes.
I have zero, but I do believe in that quantum healing and everything because I have read about podcasts, hours, name it, but not per se a medical. And everybody say accountants don't believe in anything that numbers and facts. So can I take the course and...
Absolutely. About 30 to 40% of my practitioners, they just want to learn how to do healing work, help themselves, help their families, and they learn. And some of them have been extremely good practitioners. If you read on the sheet there, I have 3 testimonials. Noel Ween is a teacher, a translator, a coach, but she's not a doctor. And she's tried to study some different healing modalities because she's been very interested in it, but she could never really get it. Why? Because she had self-doubt. So I cleared her self-doubt in the program. And if you read that, she's absolutely qualified and very good. And she's starting a practice to help people. All
Great,
right?
thank you.
You're very welcome. You know, they don't teach doctors of any kind this kind of work. So everyone's a beginner. Everyone's a beginner. The doctors have an advantage in that with the calcitonin, right? They have a doctor mind, and they would think, and in the protocol level 1 is the way to get to it, but you need to fill in the blank for what it is. So I recognize, and the blank, I recognize osteoporosis, right? Then the other one would be I recognize some function, like calcitonin, the hormone. And so a doctor would know that. But as we get into level 4 and 5, I teach all that. It's just too much to teach in level 1. But there was enough here to do that because, you know, a person came to see you and said, I have osteoporosis. I recognize the osteoporosis. Pretty simple, right? Yeah. So absolutely, you can learn. And of course, I coach and do calls with my level 1 practitioners every month from them to ask me questions so I can help them to get better and better. So I do the quantum healing coaching for everyone. And then those who are in my my certification program, then I have a special coaching for them, and I share, you know, all the levels with them even before they get there, so that they can problem solve. How do I help this patient? How do I help that one? So you have almost 40 years of my experience having treated over 500,000 people on the table. So there's pretty much every kind of case you could imagine, all ages, physical problems, mental, emotional, spiritual, relationship, success. About 50% of my patients today just come in directly to clear their stress patterns and the relationship patterns so they can have a better relationship life. And as a matter of fact, I won't say the name, but one of my practitioners who is a businessman, owns a bunch of businesses here in Dallas. Pardon? I'm not going to say who it is. And because you recognize his businesses. He came to heal with relationships, and we helped him heal some family issues with mom. I won't say what it is because then that will make it more obvious who it is. But I helped him to heal that, and he's getting married. He's getting married. So he met a wonderful woman after all the years of dating all the different other women that didn't work out very well. And I got to meet her, and she's lovely, lovely, like absolutely the right mate for life. And that's about half of my practice these days. And then people who come for success. They want to get aligned with their heart and soul. They want to be on their true purpose and path. They want to really like be aligned, heart-aligned doctors, heart-aligned businessmen and women. And it's just really great to be able to help people bring that into their businesses because it affects everyone around them, bring it into their families. As my patient Overton, the Coast Guard said, not only did my body heal, but you helped me heal with my family, with my kids, with my wife. And we got to save a marriage that probably would have fallen apart, was falling apart and didn't need to. It was just being created by his childhood trauma and pain. And he was going to create the same emotions by losing this family as he lost his childhood family in the same way. So we're all living a metaphor in our life. T. Harv Eker wrote a book called The Millionaire Mind. He said, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I would change a little bit how you're programmed inside on one thing affects everything else. So it's so wonderful to be able to help people on this level. So any other questions that anyone might have?
Yes, I see that we can book a session through you.
Yes, if you'd like to book a session with me, I'm in a hotel in Plano tomorrow only, and all you need to do is my telephone number is on there. Just text me, so I can give you the address of the hotel where it is. It's at the border of Plano and Frisco, right off the freeway, 2 freeways that intersect. And I'm happy to see you for whether it's a 30-minute session or an hour session. Some people ask for even more than that, but those are the 2 common ones. My fee is normally $12.50 an hour, and for everyone in this audience, and if you want to bring your kids or your husband or wife that's not here, everyone is 50% off that fee. So it's half. All right, so $313 and $625. Got it? Yes. To come in here. I had a husband and wife share a half hour, and I just did 15 and 15 on them. And they said I changed their life. I found the exact pattern that was making them fully, and they were just so blown away. That was in Houston a couple days ago when I was there. And so, a lot of fun. Love helping people. So just text me and say tonight so I can put you on the schedule for tomorrow, because some of you might want to come in the morning, and if I know tonight, then I can get you scheduled. So morning, afternoon, I'll even work at night. But I do have some other doctors that I know in Dallas that want to meet with me tomorrow. So probably for the meal times. So just know dinner and lunch I might be unavailable after dinner. So just let me know. Okay, I know some of you work, hospital hours or other hours. So whatever it is, I'm here for you. You've been a wonderful, great audience. Thank you so much. Normally, we would have everyone filled up, but we did say we're filming TV. So we think that when we said that, some people was like, I don't know if I want to be filmed. So I'm so thankful that you're all here willing to get filmed with me, and gave your willing permission to do that so that we can make a huge difference in the world and let other people, because there's nothing personal that got revealed. Really, no one knows what really was going on with you. Everyone has trauma, everyone has pain, and we're just healing that. We're all the same. We just have our own unique, so we think, unique brand of trauma in our lives. All right.
I have 2 more questions.
Yes, please, Pat.
I had a doctor to recognize my condition, and he spoke to me kindly, but he didn't touch me. The sense of touch is powerful, and the sense of prayer and meditation is powerful. If I'm allowed to say it, it's a God sent, and you're a God sent, and I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bless you. Thank you.
And my other question is, if you heal, sorry. Yes. And it's an honor to be here asking questions. So if
Yes, of course.
through learning these, can you heal long distance?
I have a remote healing course that's part of my certification for the practitioners. So the answer is yes. I've helped people all around the world remotely. I think my favorite story is a man in Scotland who called me, and I treated him from California, where I live. And he had rosacea, red face, 59-year-old Scotsman. The good news is he only had it for 9 months. Okay, this is important. If he'd had it for 30 years, it would have taken me longer to get his systems working for it to heal and go away. So I only had to work with him for about, 4 or 5 sessions. I worked with him over a couple weeks. And basically what happened is his son, who is also very well known in England because he's an actor, broke up with his girlfriend. And my patient thought, finally, I'm going to be successful. My son is marrying the daughter of this other famous person who lives in a big, like, estate, castle-y thing you see, like, those big, huge estates. And I'm going to sit on the patio and be poured champagne and hang out with these wonderful, with these people, and I can live off my son's success. But he broke up with her, and he got so angry that he hadn't achieved the success that he wanted to at 59. And that's what caused it. So I helped him heal that, heal his heart, heal his lack of success. And he had taken coaching courses in the recent time and had graduated. And the coaching company calls him up and said, hey, we want you to coach our coaches. That was his heart work, was to coach and help and serve people. And he quit his job with a department of the government where he was in a pretty high position. And he was coaching for 20 hours a week, making twice as much money as he did full time. And then what happened? That department of the government hired him to coach them for twice as much. So he was making 4 times as much money, doing what he loves, serving people, helping people, doing something valuable. And because we helped him to clear his feelings of failure and lack of success in life. He didn't have to be famous. He didn't have to make a ton of money, like we think is success, millions. Just do what he loves and make a lot more than he did before, just doing that and serving and helping people. And he's a wonderful man. And in fact, this summer, I'm going to go visit him in Scotland and stay with him. So that's what happens. I, have friendships all over the world because of this work. And so, yes, the answer obviously is yes. I do teach that, but you need to at least take level 1 and 2 to have enough bandwidth, enough knowledge on how to help somebody distance-wise. And I want you to be more healed and more connected internally, because remember what does the healing, and you're facilitating it. And we don't want to project our mind, because there's a lot of techniques that people are using their mind. We're doing just the opposite. No mind, just heart and soul and divine, God source. And we're just helping direct people with our mind, but not using our mind, right? So we have to get out of the way. So we want to have you out of the way enough to when you do distance work, that it works and that you can help the people. Good? You're so welcome. I designed this originally because I had a brick and mortar office where I help people, right? So people come to see me, lie on the table. I had 4 treatment rooms in my original practice, and I went from room to room, you know, in the door, out the door, in the door, out the door, in the door, out the door. And then in my final years, when my practice tripled, I had to move faster. So tore down all the walls, had one big room like this studio, table, 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 and I just treated people in the same room. Soft music, soft lights, people crying, who I hadn't even touched yet. Because I was clearing something on this person, and we're working in the field, the quantum field, the energetic field of all these souls, and we're all one soul in the room. So as I help this person, everyone in the room is getting a little bit of treatment. And some people, if it's the same vibration needed in this person to heal, that vibration is not only going into them, like the word right, went into all of you too. Happiness. A little bit of that went into you, depending on how open and receptive you were. Obviously, when you're on the table, I make sure that you're receptive, right? First of all, you agreed. So first level of reception, and the next one, I'm testing you, and then asking what I need, where I need to go, and how I need to treat the person, and that in itself opens that connection, and just so fun to do. So I would see all those people and see 50 or 60 people in the day and help them on. My most people I saw in a day was 80. But that was a lot. All right. Now patients, you know, I did the old chiropractic model, you know, 5 to 10 minute sessions, right? So the average session was about 7 minutes. So I could see 6, 7, 8 people an hour. But now, more and more people want deeper work. They want to come longer and pay more. So it's the same amount. It's just that person, you know, in an hour, I'm doing like 8 sessions on them, right? So just getting it and paying for it all at once. Simple. And so, like I said, it's however you want to set up your practice to work with people, you can do. And of course, I coach you on whatever you want to know. Well, how would I set up a practice with this? What would I do here? You know, how would I integrate functional medicine? How would I integrate this machine or that machine if you wanted to put in, you know, other things in your clinic? You know, best that I can. You know, some people are medical doctors in the room, I believe, and maybe they do IV drips or, you know, intravenous, you know, ozone treatments or other things like that. But those are all, you know, external in things. This is internal because we're getting the person to open up their energy systems that are blocking and to do that. So that's why I got rid of all the other things. But it's up to you if you want to do those things. They'll fit in, and they'll fit in just fine if you have that practice and integrate that. Initially, you add this into the practice. The more and more you do that, then you can, you know, upgrade, change, increase, decrease, whatever feels right to you. I'm just want to help you just be aligned in your heart, and whatever that is, it's perfect, right? Divine alignment's perfect. Okay. Good questions. Anyone else with any other question before we go tonight?
So you said there's 5 levels, or how many?
Ultimately, there's about I forget if it's 8 or 9 classes, but some of them are online. So the remote class is online. Why? Because we're teaching remote. So we don't need to be in person. In fact, it would be ridiculous to do a remote class in person. Does it make sense? Once you know how to do level 1 and 2 in person, then I show you how to transfer it to remote. And then what do? We break off in pairs and have you treat each other remotely. Nice. Cool or cool? I have quantum functional medicine, level 1 and 2, and those I can teach remotely because you already know how to do, level 1 or in level 1 and 2. So, for instance, what food the person should eat, what exercise they should do, what supplements they need. You can tell a person to do all those external things to treat illness, to try to treat illness, or you can get to the cause and get a person from survival illness function into healing function and then support the healing. And it's a totally different protocol. And guess who knows what protocol they need? The patient. So you use your medical and knowledge on curcumin or essential fatty acids or whatever it is, and you can figure out what that body needs in the now to support them in their healing. The right exercise, the right diet, when to eat, when to sleep, all those things the body knows.
Mm-hmm.
So I help guide you through that process. As a matter of fact, the level 1 course here has quantum functional medicine. I show how I did it on a patient in one of my courses. And so that's about an hour and a half course that comes with level 1. So there's a bunch of things that come with level 1. That free audio meditation, which is a remote healing, by the way. It's a remote healing of me working with you it's recorded. I have 13 of those. And so when you take the course, you get all 13 included for free. So there's a bunch of bonuses that are on there. Also, I have the level 1 course recorded on video. So you can start learning how to do things before you even get to the class. Cool or cool? So that's all on there. So it's about $6,000 or so, or $7,000 of bonuses for the level 1 class in the value. And then, of course, there's the monthly coaching. And once you join level 1, you get that coaching call every month as long as I'm alive, I guess, or another master student takes over for me to do those calls. I'd love it for it to be one of you or many of you to do those calls, because I'm not going to be here forever. Okay, great question.
Have you dealt with any extreme autoimmune like MS, where it's to the level of crippling where the person can no longer feed themselves, walk?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Difficult cases when I did it the old way. And since I redesigned the course, I have a feeling that it won't take as long to help them move through that. But I'll give one example with rheumatoid arthritis. I had a woman who was about 40 years old, so not old, and she was in a walker. And I had trained one of my practitioners. She happened to be a Palestinian woman. I trained a Palestinian doctor in this work. And he really studied a lot with me. So he was pretty good. And he said he saw her about, 8 or 10 times for a short session. And she felt a lot better, but she was still in the walker. So she rang the buzzer. At his office, he had to go from the front door to his office door, which is about from this screen to the back of this room. And I said, should we open the door? He said, no, it'll take her about 10 minutes to get from the front door to here, to there. So she was, moving along here. I put her on the table. I found the stress and cleared it in 15 minutes. She got off the table and walked normal, had no pain whatsoever. That's how fast. So she had a little pre-work, but I just dropped in right with it. And she responded that quickly. Now, I had other people who were in bed with those illnesses, and you really have to work on their belief system and on their what I call payoffs. They want to punish somebody else, so they stay sick in bed. So oftentimes those really bedridden things, they're really deep, and you need to tune in and know what to do to help them. But as soon as you do that, and you got to find out their willingness to get well, a few more secrets, right? Because they say they want to, or they say they believe they can, right? And they really don't. Something is holding them back, whatever that is. And so you got to be, clever, sneaky doctor. You have to, know how to tune in and do that. But I've helped so many people with those illnesses, chronic illnesses like this, get better. And other ones, you help come to completion in their life, because that's where they are, so that at least they can heal their heart and their mind and their soul before they go. And I find that, in fact, I've gotten more phone calls from the people that were at the end of their life, no matter what age they were. And because they shifted and changed so much, with so much vibrance, happiness, joy, love in their heart, that their family, their husbands, never saw in them their whole marriage, and call me and say, thank you. You truly healed and helped my wife. And just their healing healed us. So when we help people heal at this level, it affects so many other people to heal. So great question.
And addictions also?
Addictions, absolutely. In fact, that's one of the courses, one of the online courses, once in the certification, is an addiction course. And I teach you how to have all different kind of protocols, whether it's cigarettes, alcohol, a drug that they're taking. I helped a man who was, addicted to morphine, and we helped him heal his deeper pain in that. And he was also happy that he got one last free high because it released in his body, and he couldn't get off to the floor. He says, "This is like the best high because I'm healing, and I don't need it anymore." It's the funniest guy.
Okay, my last one. ADHD.
Yeah. All you can help ADHD, ADD,
autism,
the ASD spectrum can help those kids. Cerebral palsy, so many things you can help kids with this, and social anxiety. I had a teenager, 15, come see me with social anxiety so bad he stuttered and he couldn't even talk to other kids, let alone girls. And his father brings him in to me on a Saturday around 12, Saturday morning. And that night was the big school party, 1,000 kids that he wanted to go to. We cleared the social anxiety in an hour. He went and had the best time of his life. Talked to girls, made friends, totally out of it. So it's just so great to help kids. Again, we don't treat any of those conditions. We treat the cause. In his case, it was his parents fighting and anger that disrupted his system. So they weren't communicating very well, and he just mirrored that. But as a young person without any worldly experience about communicating. So once we cleared his mother and father out of him, he did great. Cool? Yeah. So you can help those kids tremendously. Yeah. And with the autism, I've helped some 20, 30%, which is like wonderful. Like nothing else did 20 or 30%. So they were higher functioning, and other ones all the way out of it. So it just depends on how much care, what we do. And remember, I've learned along the way. And so a lot of what's in this course is stuff that I've learned in the last 3 years. I got my greatest messages on how to go deeper very quickly. So you're learning stuff that I wish I had 20 and 30, 40 years ago that has been tried and tested on still hundreds and hundreds of patients and worked every time. So when it works every time, I teach it. Good question. Thank you. Anyone else? Great. All right. I'll take any questions after we're going to stop filming, and Jason and Josh can go home, and we can go home. And thank you so much for being here tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure to be with you. Thank you. Thank you.